is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Steve, with Generally Speaking. I'm super excited tonight, guys. Got a great guest. She's been very respectful. She's been sitting backstage. Unfortunately, we've got to pay some bills real quick, and then we're going to bring out the Snake Lady.
The Show Me Reptile Show, America's Reptile Expo, Durham, North Carolina, September to remember, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Medford, Oregon, Nashville, Tennessee, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Portland, Maine, St. Louis, Missouri, Odessa, Texas, Waterloo, Iowa, Derry, New Hampshire, Eugene, Oregon, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. Come be a part of the experience.
All right. Now we're really getting down to business here. Who's that there in her witching dress, looking to haunt, she would confess? Her name ain't Rachel and old Katie. We all know her as Snake Lady. At Halloween, she's at her best and with her reptiles most obsessed. Her heart is black, intention shady. Yes, it's her, it's that Snake Lady. She carries her friends in a knotted bag, this loathsome, wretched, wicked hag. Her age is surely 8 plus 80. I do believe it's that Snake Lady. She casts a spell with a grin and a hiss, and one of her best goes something like this. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burning, cauldron trouble. Witchy, witchy, witchy wee, witch you, had a snake like me. And that's why they call me Snake Lady.
All right, guys. So that pretty much lets everybody know who we've got. So I'm going to bring Miss Connie out on the stage, and we will introduce the Snake Lady.
Good evening.
How are you? How are you?
Radical.
So I am super excited, everybody, to have Connie on. I know that she's super busy with all of the things that she's into. Connie, before I start kind of going into it too much, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody real quick?
Well, my name is Connie Koch. I've been a snake lady here in Sedalia, Missouri for about 45 years and enjoyed it immensely.
Incredible.
Yes, I have other interests. I'm a ham radio operator and a storm spotter, and also work with the Emergency Management Agency here in Sedalia, Missouri. I've written a couple of humorous books, and of course they have snake stories. That's a really big part of my life if you hadn't figured it out. And I do love to roller skate. I'm a roller skater and have been a speed skate coach for several years, and that's a great interest of mine. Kind of a gym rat since I retired. It's something I like to do. Didn't have a chance to before, but I'm really enjoying it now. And I like to work with the 4-H boys and girls here in the area. I'm on the Missouri University Extension Council. And one of my other real loves is my Jeep. I have a Jeep Wrangler, and her name is Big Red. And we go to a lot of the event rallies around Missouri, and I'm on that staff getting ready for a big show in September, and love that. And tell you what, life is good in Connie land.
I love it. I love it. So I had no idea. I was going through and I snagged up some pictures that we're going to show and stuff. I had no idea about the skating stuff. That's just another element of Miss Connie, the snake lady. So Connie, you said that you've been the snake lady for 45 years. Is that right?
That is true.
So how did it start for you, Connie?
Well, actually, I had a career with the Missouri Department of Conservation. I was in fisheries and wildlife, and I would go out to schools and do programs. And the boys and girls would expect to have an animal. Well, that's all fine and good. But if I had taken like a baby raccoon or a possum or whatever, when they get mature, they get mean, but not like snakes. Snakes are pretty great because they're either hatched or born pleasant or they're not. And I'd had plenty of time to sort mine out, and the kids just love the snakes. And I have so enjoyed bringing them to the audiences all over the state, and business is good.
Yeah. So as I was kind of going through some of your stuff, can you tell everybody a little bit about this picture here?
Well, yes, I've been a scout leader for about 15 years, and one of that would be a troop here in Sedalia. And probably one of the most interesting things about this picture is that it was taken at an Eagle Court of Honor for one of our scouts. And the fact was that all of my scouts were absolutely drilled in the fact that there are no poisonous snakes, but there are venomous snakes. We know that. And my question to this Eagle Scout would be, how many poisonous snakes do we have here in Pettis County? And his response had better be none. Venomous. And I said, now your Eagle award depends on the way you answer this question, so you better be right.
Yeah. So did you bring that stuff to the table for the scouts and stuff too, with your whole snake lady stuff? And
oh my goodness, yes, I sure did. And they requested it almost every year, although they'd seen it the year before. Snake Lady has to come to Cub Scout camp every summer, and I'm always glad to do it. It's such a treat.
Roughly how long have you been doing that?
The Scout?
Probably about going and doing annually.
Oh, goodness sake. At least 15 years. Because I started in Scouts when my grandson was 7 years old, and now he's 21. So
well, that makes sense. I tell you what, you have so much love down in Sedalia, Missouri, and it makes sense because of all the things that you're into. And then to think 15 years doing educational stuff directly with them as a leader and then also as the snake lady, that's like two separate entities right there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So has it always been reptiles for you, Connie, or are you animal eccentric? Is there more to it?
No, I'll tell you what, I've always worked with actually reptiles, snakes in particular, and it's just been a joy. It really has been.
And are you born and raised in Sedalia?
Yes, this is my home.
Okay, so you've got that show me pride just like I do. I love
Absolutely.
it.
Yes.
So tell me, obviously you've been doing this for a very long time. Tell me what it was like for you as a little girl growing up down there. Were you bringing all sorts of stuff inside, or what was it like for Miss Connie?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a good story about that because I was raised on a dairy farm here in the area. And my dad would have to buy very, really expensive dairy cattle feed for the Holsteins. And he would put it in the big green grain bins, the silver bins that you'd see along the side of the road, with the farms. And he would store that grain in the bins. And there was something else that really liked that grain also, and that was rats and mice. And they would get in it and they would contaminate it and nasty in it, and the cattle wouldn't eat it. So my dad said, Connie, we're going to do this. He says, I'm going to make you a snake stick. So he got me a broom handle with a hook on the end. And he said, whenever you see a black rat snake, I want you to hook it in the middle and I want you to carry it over there to that green bin and put it in there. And I did that a whole lot of times one summer because we were losing a lot of grain. And
How old were you?
What?
How old were you at the time?
Oh, gosh. Let's see, 10, 11.
Yeah,
Youngish.
young.
Yes. But
So was your dad nervous of the snakes, or
no, he knew that
no?
those black rat snakes were doing him a favor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I absolutely love that. Hey, something else that I really loved, and I told you it was something that I wanted to kind of move forward in my educational stuff that I do at the schools and things like that. And I asked your permission first, but you had the triangle road sign for when you were talking about the venomous stuff.
That's right.
You want to give your little spiel that you gave on that at the show? I loved it.
All right, I can do that. Yes, well, I would hold up the picture of the road sign, and it would be a sign that you would see along the highway that would have a curve in it, and there would be a triangle at the top. And I would say, now, when I see this sign along the highway, it says to me, beware, curvy road ahead. But it also says to me, beware, venomous snake ahead. And it's all about the head because here in Missouri, our venomous snakes have a triangle shaped head. And that's what you want to be aware of when you see it. And that is the way I present that particular fact about venomous snakes.
I hadn't seen anybody go that avenue before, and I thought, man, what a great way. It gives the kids a visual. It makes sense. It's even got the curve. That's golden stuff. That's golden. So when you're going out and you're doing this educational stuff, Miss Connie, obviously we want to get people past the fear and the things like that, but is there something that kind of drives you when you look at some of these younger kids? And I mean, it's not always younger kids either. I see teenagers, I see adults every show getting over their fear and touching a snake for the first time. So for somebody that's been so deep in the educational side, what keeps you coming back? What makes you smile, Connie?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I have done hundreds, maybe thousands of these programs, but every time I do one, it seems like the first one. I'm just as enthusiastic because I love presenting the educational information about snakes. And I want young people to respect snakes. They may not have to love them. And I understand that many people don't. But you know what? I try to convince them that snakes have their place on our planet, and that is rodent and insect control. And they're out there doing us a favor. They're out there just making a living. And that's what I
Yep.
tell them.
Yep. And you said something that I always end up telling everybody, because I'm like, hey, look, I know that there's some of you out in here listening to me right now, and you may not be huge fans of snakes, but let me ask you this: are you a bigger fan of having rodents in your house? Because none of us get super happy if we see a mouse scurry across the floor, and you probably don't see that very much, and you can thank Mr. Snake outside. Uh,
That's right.
and I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call and somebody's telling me, "Oh, there's a 12-foot snake, and it's a black snake, just like what you're talking about." And I'll come over to try to, they want me to remove it, and the first thing I try to do is talk them out of it. I'm like, "Look, you're really lucky, and I know you're nervous, and the snake looks bigger than what you're thinking, and I'm not saying that it's small, but this guy is never going to hurt you. And by the way, how many times have you seen it?" "Oh,
Right.
this is the first or second time." "Well, that's cool, because he's lived here for 4 or 5 years. uh he's taking control of the situation. Let him be." And a lot of times, they're like, "No, no," because they're nervous. And I'll take them and drop them in my backyard. They don't stay, but I still will try to put them somewhere close to me, or I'll take them out to my dad's farm or something like that. So
Mhm.
um so being in the scouts and things like that, and all of the stuff you do, you have to get all sorts of calls over your years for, "Miss Connie, this is going on." Can you tell us a couple entertaining stories along those lines? I know you've got to have some.
Well, I'm going to tell you one that was pretty unusual. Now, if you have to edit this out, I understand. But years ago, I was doing a program in a teacher's classroom and of fourth graders. And I was talking to her about where my snakes lived. They wanted to know how they live, where they live. And so I told the class, I said, well, these snakes, they have it pretty good. They have their own bedroom. There are 6 condominiums and 12 apartments in their bedroom. And the condominiums are very nice because these snakes have linoleum floors, heated deck, and a pool with all the mice they want to eat. So I ended my program and I had asked, are there any questions that the boys and girls would like to ask? And one little girl, as I had talked about the condominiums, she was so shy and she raised her hand in the back of the room and she said, how many snakes can you get in your condom? So that was one thing. And I've never forgotten that one. And
I
then
bet.
one time, oh, you just don't forget things like that. And then one time I was doing a program at Powell Gardens where I was an outdoor educator also. And I had just done a program for a bunch of young kids. And I thought I'd done pretty good. I felt really good about it. And they were going to have their lunch in the area where the picnic tables were. And I kind of leaned up on the picnic table and put my foot up on the bench. And I said, well, kids, do you have any questions you'd like to ask me about the program or the snakes or anything? And so one little boy in the back of the room, he raised his hand and he said, did you know your pants are unzipped? Now you asked the most memorable ones, and those two are very memorable. I can tell you
Yeah,
that.
they are. Yeah, they are. So, have you been called for snake removal and things like that as well in the area? I'm guessing. I mean,
Oh my.
everybody knows who you are.
I get a lot of calls. I think I'm on speed dial for some folks. Matter of fact, I had a friend in Ionia, Missouri, which is about 20 miles from here. And she called me and she said, Connie, there is a snake in my toilet. You have to come over here and get it out. So I did. I went to Ionia and she had a yellow belly racer right there in her toilet. And I said, well, Linda, I'll take care of this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take it out over to the Flat Creek and release it. And it's not going to be a problem. Won't have that problem again. So I did that, and a month went by, and I got another call from her. And she said, Connie, I've got another snake in my toilet. You're going to have to come down here. And I did. And it was another rat snake. And she said, is this the same one? I said, no. I said, it's not. I said, these snakes are coming up through your sewage area, through your septic tank. And that's why they're in your toilet. And I said, I'll take care of it just like I did the other one. And she said, well, Connie, what am I going to do about this? And I said, Linda, look before you sit.
Oh my gosh, dude, that poor lady's probably got PTSD. Oh,
Sure.
and now do you still talk to her?
Oh yes, we're great friends.
I bet so. She's not fixing to lose you on speed dial.
No.
So one of the things at the show that really got my attention, obviously I love the things you were saying and I was dialed in, but when you reached in and you pulled out Beauty, that started kind of hitting close to home for me.
Yes.
I am really big into the Asian rat snakes, any of them, any of the Asian rat snakes. And you pulled out Beauty, and I thought, what an amazing animal. And I don't have a picture of her, guys, but it's a Taiwan beauty snake. And
Yes.
she was just so relaxed, so happy to be out. It was refreshing to see. And, you know, because the beauty snakes can get a little bit of a bad rap because they can do some bluffing. And I have quite a few of the beauty snakes. I love them, the Vietnamese beauties, some of the Taiwans. I love them. And I was super impressed when you reached in and pulled that out. Not that I'm not impressed with the other snakes, but like you were going through like king snake, and then I can't remember, but they were like fairly native species, and then out of left field, bam, you hit us with a Taiwanese beauty. And I'm like, what? So do you have, and this is an unfair question, but I'm going to ask, do you have a favorite species? Maybe not a favorite animal, but a favorite species that you like to work with?
Well, my favorite was a bull snake that I had, but he has passed on years ago. But I like the rat snakes.
Yeah.
I do. Yes, because one of my best stories is about the black rat snake, and that really hits home to a lot of the agricultural people that I work with. So
Sure.
I think rat snakes are fine.
And I think at any given point, someone from the Midwest has seen a large black rat.
Yeah.
So, you know, well, Miss Connie, did you have anything else you wanted to say to everybody, or anything else you wanted to share with us tonight?
Well, I think I would like to share my life mantra with everyone because I think everybody could use a little dose of this. But I say to you, dare to be different. The dividends are delightful.
I love it.
That's the way
I always tell everybody, don't be scared to be odd, because you can't be number one.
Right.
So, when's the next time we're going to see you? I'm guessing probably at the Sedalia, Missouri Show Me Reptile Show, or?
Well, I hope to come to Columbia because that's only about 50 miles from here, and that will be one, I think, in September, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Columbia's coming up, I believe, the end of September. I might have to see about coming out now that I know Miss Connie's going to be there.
I'd love that.
So, all right. Well, hey, Miss Connie, thank you so much for your time. You were absolutely great to have on. I can't wait to get more time with you guys. For anybody that doesn't know, Miss Connie, the snake lady, I'm going to go ahead and run this again for anybody that wasn't here to start. And Connie, we love you, sister.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Okay, guys. So yeah, Miss Connie, the snake lady. Here it is, guys.
All right. Now we're really getting down to business here. Who's that there in her witching dress, looking to haunt, she would confess? Her name ain't Rachel Ann or Katie. We all know her as Snake Lady. At Halloween, she's at her best and with her reptiles most obsessed. Her heart is black, intention shady. Yes, it's her, it's that Snake Lady. She carries her friends in a knotted bag, this loathsome and wretched wicked hag. Her age is surely 8 plus 80. I do believe it's that Snake Lady. She casts a spell with a grin and a hiss, and one of her best goes something like this. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. Witchy, witchy, witchy wee, witch you had a snake like me. And that's why they call me Snake Lady.
The Show Me Reptile Show, America's Reptile Expo, Durham, North Carolina, September to Remember, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Medford, Oregon, Nashville, Tennessee, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Portland, Maine, St. Louis, Missouri, Odessa, Texas, Waterloo, Iowa, Derry, New Hampshire, Eugene, Oregon, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, Come be a part of the experience.